Hey guys, it's Bradley with Lead Gadget in the ATM. Today is February 25th, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Guys, I don't have any specific training for today, so it's just going to be Q&A. I see a couple people on the event page. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them, and I'll answer questions. Otherwise, it's going to be a short webinar as I prepare. I'm training 2 VAs at the moment for building ATM sites, and they're doing fairly well already. This is their second week, and we're doing pretty good. It's kind of difficult training new VAs to build ATM sites, especially ones that haven't really had much experience with WordPress. It's interesting, but this is their second week, and they're doing pretty good. We built about, I'd say 40 sites since last week, just those 2 VAs, and I'm having them build each site in adding new content to each site instead of like recycling content. And that way because I'm having them go out, locate articles, scrape the articles, spin them, clean the keyword list, generate the keyword list, and then clean the keyword list, create the short codes, all of that. And so right now the builds are somewhat basic, where they're just an article and a YouTube video on each page or post that gets produced. But probably after they get the hang of it and become more efficient, then I'm going to add in, like, having them add images to the posts when they before they deploy the sites and that kind of thing. So, but we found a couple niche offers that we're working on building out a whole bunch of sites for affiliate marketing stuff, and it's looking pretty promising. So I gave you guys all last week, and 2 weeks ago we talked about it briefly. We talked about Trello and how to find and hire VAs and to train them. And then last week I gave my notes, which have already been edited several times, but there was a step-by-step process on how to build ATM sites that I gave to my VAs. And that's all they're doing, is just following those notes. So I've edited a couple times and added some new stuff, but they're doing quite well. Like I said, I think we've got just over 40 sites done, and this makes today is like their eighth work day. So I imagine another week or maybe week and a half, and they'll be to the point where they're able to produce 8 to 10 sites per day. And that's, again, building each one without recycling content. I want them to get really, really good at that prior to me starting to allow them to start recycling content. So right now it's just a matter of repetition. And I think, guys, I'm telling you, I wish I would have done this a year ago, because I would have a hell of a lot more ATM sites up driving traffic. If part of the problem was I didn't build near as many sites as I wanted to, because I just don't have the time to do it, because I run all my other businesses as well. And unfortunately, I didn't want to take the time to train somebody either, which is always the catch-22, right? You want to get more stuff done. And the only way to get more stuff done is to train somebody to do it, but you don't have the time to train somebody to do it, or you don't make the time, right? And that's kind of the boat I was in. So for the last year, I haven't built near as many ATM sites as I wanted to, but finally took the time to do it. And now I'm getting a lot of stuff done with just all I have to do is manage the projects, like find the offers that I want to promote, type up some instructions for the project, and then send them over to my VAs, and then they send me back the sites when they're done for review, and that's pretty much it. So, we'll be at the point in the next week and a half to where we're busting out between the 2 of them, I'd say 16 to 20 sites per day. So I'm going to need another server, and but that's good, because we're talking 75 to 100 sites per week that I'll have up without my input, other than just finding the offers. And in fact, I hired a team manager she's in training right now as well. So she's probably going to be the one that ends up finding the offers and giving out the project instructions. So all I got to do is pay for everything and just collect money. So manage it a little bit. So anyways, I highly recommend you guys start thinking about doing that if you can, because that's one way you can scale. Even if you're still building yourself, you could even hire somebody and start training them how to build, so that you got 2 people building, yourself and someone else. And, I pay my VAs about $100 a week during training. And then once they're out of training, they'll be at about $125 a week. They're from the Philippines. And then once, I said, usually about 90 days after they're out of training. So the first 30 days is training. Then the next 90 days, they get bumped up to that $125 a week mark. And then from after that, I reevaluate and see where they are. If they've done well, then I'll give them as much as 150 a week. And that's a small price to pay to get that many sites done, in my opinion. So anyways, guys, you should have had enough time to post some questions. I told you this will be real short today. If there's no questions, I'm going to wrap it up in just a moment. I can see a few people on the event page. If you guys have any questions, I recommend you post them now. Again, for real, I'm going to shut it down because I got too much to do right now. Maybe next week I'll have some more training for you guys if you want it, but I need to know what you guys want to see so I know what to do. Because otherwise, this is supposed to be Q&A, but the attendance has been low, probably because of the time of day that we do this, but this is the only time I can do it. So I post the events page early, guys. If you have questions that you would like answered, you can always post them on the events page. It's usually posted also as an event in Facebook. However, in Facebook, just click on the link, which will take you to this Google Plus page where you can post your question. That way I see it. If there's questions both in Facebook and on here, most likely the Facebook questions are going to get missed. I don't like Facebook. I don't use it very much. I try to stay the hell out of it. It's too much of a distraction. So I use Google Plus. And the event page is the best place to post questions ahead of time. Even if you cannot attend the webinar live, it's okay. You can post your questions. I will answer them, and you can always get the answers on the replay. So again, I encourage you guys to come up with questions during the week and post them on the event page so that it give me some content to work with for webinar content. All right. Sometimes I just won't have lessons for you. It depends on how busy I am and how much time I have to get to it. I would share some of the site stuff that I'm doing with you guys, but I can't because every time I do that, they get de-indexed, and I'm not going to jeopardize those sites. So how is 1 hour indexing service working for you? Params, I stopped using it just recently, within probably the last, I don't know, month or so. Only because I've got the VAs now doing so many sites for me that the volume was too much. I couldn't get that many. I couldn't submit that many, and it was kind of like a bottleneck, and there was really no point in using it anymore. So right now I'm using the promote button, and then I'm also testing. I just started testing about 10 days ago, not even 10 days ago, about a week ago, really. Express Indexer. Let me grab the link. I'll show you which one I'm talking about. Yeah, it's called Express Indexer.solutions. And I've got right now I think a 5 million links per month plan. That's this one. And I'm just started testing them. It's been only about a week, so I really don't have any results to tell you yet. I just posted on the events page. It'll show up here in a second. You have to contact the developer or the owner of the service to request a monthly plan that'll give you the amount of link volume that you need. I'm starting off with I think it's 5 million links per month that I can submit just to start off and test it. Once I get if it works well and the VAs are really ramping up, then I'm going to need to go up to like 10 million per month, because you figure like 10 sites per day, that's 35,000. If you submit the tag site maps as well, then that's about 35,000 posts or URLs per site. So it would be 350,000 URLs per day if we were just submitting 10 sites per day. And then 350,000, let's see, I'm doing math real quick, times 20 work days per month, right? 4 weeks of 5 days each. That comes out to be about 7 million links per month. And so then that's just at 10 sites per day. If you're doing more than that, obviously you're going to need more. So, 15 sites per day, you'd need 10.5 million links per month. So I think right now we're at 5 million, and I just started testing it, so I really don't have any results yet. But this is the only one that I could find that had a reasonable rate for that amount of volume. So that's what I'm using. Okay. And yeah, if you wanted to, you just contact the developer and or the the owner of the service and tell them that you need a custom package, because I can tell you 1 million links per month isn't enough unless you're only doing a handful of sites per month. But at this rate, we're submitting a whole lot of sites, so I need that kind of volume. But other than that, I'm just using, I've told you I've been using a lot of expired domains, and then I build them on the root now instead of doing the subdomain thing, only because it's too difficult to keep up with the VAs with the subdomains. So I'm just buying batches of domains for each project. Like, for example, if I'm going to build out a new campaign for a particular niche product, an affiliate product, I'll buy 12 to 15 domains. Usually I'll find 12 to 15 keywords that I'm going to promote around that niche. And then I'll buy 12 to 15 domains that are in the same topical trust flow category as expired domains. I'm using the backlinks, the blue chip backlinks, to find those domains that already have topical trust flow in that specific category. Then I add them to, I just go into Namecheap. I just purchase them through Namecheap and then use the bulk DNS settings updater to update them to Cloudflare. And then I just put them in a spreadsheet, send them over to my VAs. They add them to the ATM, and then they build out the sites on them. And then once the sites are deployed, they go into the WordPress settings and set them to the www version of the URL. So technically it's not on a subdomain, but in Google's eyes it is. The www version of the URL makes it like a subdomain. So it kind of protects the root somewhat. And also I found that the metrics inside of Majestic SEO are typically higher for the www version of a domain than they are for just the root version. So that's what we've been using, and they've been working fairly well. I think most likely because the domains have some age to them to begin with, and they have backlinks already pointed to them that are topically relevant to the content that I'm putting on those sites. And so it's been working quite well. My domain cost is a little high because I'm buying, $10 domains or $10 or $12 domains, but it's working well, and so I'm going to keep doing it. Last, they're on the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search for Lead Gadget, click on the channel. All the replays are in there. Okay. If you guys were interested in learning more about, let's see, I'm going to post something on the page real quick. You guys want to learn about the, I'm going to grab a couple YouTube URLs for you guys. Just a minute. Let me switch accounts and get what I'm looking for. I'm going to post some training on how to find these expired domains with topical relevancy, which I think is fairly important. Not fairly important. I think it's critically important. So hold on a minute. I'm looking for something. Okay, here we go. Interview with, there we go. Just a second, guys. I'm posting on the page here. Can't type and talk at the same time, so you have to forgive me. I gotta handle this real quick for you guys. Excuse me. All right. Excuse me. So what I'm posting here, which will be on the events page in just a minute, is the training I did. I did an interview with the developer of Blue Chip Backlinks and for our mastermind members. And so I've got the interview with Terry Kyle right there, the YouTube link, which you can go watch if you're interested in that. Also, the second video that I posted, which is 4 ways to find expired domains with topical relevancy using Blue Chip Backlinks. That was another webinar I did for our masterclass students, which is our intermediate coaching group. And I went through 4 different ways to find domains using that domain crawler to find domains with topical relevancy, which works well for either Lead Gadget sites or for just building building your own link network for backlinking purposes, or for building sites out for clients or lead gen sites. You can get 100% topical relevancy or geographic relevancy, right? So location relevancy. And there's 4 different ways that I use it, but it's highly effective. And for the cost, I think it's $97 a month to use that crawler. And to me, it's a steal. I used to use a lot of SAP links from the SAP network, which is the Russian link network, to do a lot of off-page SEO stuff. And I started, I spend hundreds of dollars per month on subscription services for SAP links. And now I've been eliminating that. I'm almost completely weaned off of SAP links because I've been building my own link networks from using these these blue chip backlinks domains that I'm able to find with 100% topical relevancy or geographic relevancy. And that's a huge thing. And then, like I said, I started using them for these ATM sites as well. And I found that works really, really well because I haven't had much success using like XYZ domains. They're cheap. They think they don't index well for me. I haven't really had really good results with that. I don't buy exact match domains anymore at all for anything. So I just like finding domains that had topical relevancy from basically had inbound links already pointed to them that were coming from sites that are relevant to what I'm going to be building content on. You know what I mean? So, to what I'm going to be building on that domain. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense for backlinks to be pointed to a domain from sites about shoes if I'm promoting shoes on my ATM build, right? It just makes sense. So it seems to work really well. The sites index a lot faster. They perform a lot better. So anyways, you guys check it out if you want. It's working really well for me. If you're already doing well with another method, then by all means, just keep doing what you're doing. All right, guys, post some more questions. I'm going to give it 2 minutes. And if there's no more questions, I'm wrapping it up. So if you got anything, post it. I got to get back to work. I got lots to do. If you guys have any questions about outsourcing and stuff too, let me know, because I know that's a hang up for a lot of people. They're nervous or they don't know how to do it or they've had bad experiences. And I've done a lot of, we've got now 20 full-time outsourcers on my team. So 20, that's a lot. So I've got a little bit of experience with that. And like I said, the 2 most recent ones I hired are doing the ATM site builds, and I usually give it about 30 days to give somebody full training, and then they're pretty much cut loose to just do what they're supposed to do. And like I said, I wish I would have done that with the ATM builds a long time ago, because I'd have a hell of a lot more sites up right now if I had. I just didn't make the time to do it. Param says it's important to have who is protection on for all of the domains. I do, Params. I do it. Every domain I buy, unless it's a domain that doesn't allow that, like an extension like .us, for example, doesn't allow who is privacy. So, and don't get me wrong, I'll still buy a .us domain and build on it. I have no problem with it. I don't wear my tinfoil hat and worry about all that stuff that much. You know, I have a couple different accounts that I use for buying domains. But I just purchase every time I buy a domain. I just make sure I use the who is privacy if it's available. If it's most domain extensions do allow it, but I only use a few different accounts. So if I am buying, for example, .us domains, I'll spread that out across a couple different accounts. If I'm buying, if I buy several of them, but it's rare that I even buy those types of domains. It's only if it's got really good metrics, and topical relevancy for what I'm going to be building on. Do I even buy those? So, but for .nets, .orgs, .coms, which is pretty much mostly all that I buy, I just always use who is privacy. And I do that for everything. It's just so I don't get spammed by email too. So, okay, guys, 2 minutes is up. So I'm going to wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, remember when I post this events page, I'll also post it in, I'll post an event notice inside of Facebook with the link that will bring you to this event page. Okay. So if you have any questions during the week that you would like answered on a call, just post them there. And that way I can answer them for you and perhaps even show some demonstrations and things like that. All right. So just make sure that you do that, because the questions have been light recently. And if I don't have training, then it kind of seems silly for me to show up if there's no questions. Right. So anyways, thanks for being here today, guys. We'll see you all next week. Go build some sites and make some money.